Hello, hello. Testing. Oh, hello, Rocket. Turns out Rocket was in here the whole time. Let me bring my mic down a little bit if I can. Don't know if that's possible. Whoa! Oh, now it's very low. But maybe you guys can hear me better. Hello, everybody. Hi, Rebel Star. Hi, Mr. Freaky. Hello, Curry. This mic is really low now, but I think it'll be okay. Actually, I'm gonna adjust it because right now it's kind of blocking my light. Let me do that, and then we'll switch over. There we go. Okay, that should be good. All right, let's get this switched over today. Yay, hello. All right, so welcome back yet again. It's been like crazy holidays and things coming up, and I wanted to stream on Tuesday but got really sick, like all out of the blue. It just like hit me like a truck, and I was like, oh, this is not great. But it was not COVID, it was just like a food poisoning or something, and now it's fine. I am seeing in the comments here that probably multiple people have COVID. I know of at least 2 now in there that have COVID. Hope you guys feel a lot better, and that it's the Omicron variety. Not that you should be getting COVID, but I've heard that one is a lot not as bad. It's like out of all of them to get, that one's not quite as bad. So hope you guys feel better. I'm holed up here in my hobby room, so I can hopefully not catch COVID, but hopefully you guys all had a pleasant Christmas and a safe Christmas, and will be a safe New Year's, but we'll get to that later. And let's see, I got your booster a week before you tested positive, so it could be worse. Oh yeah, at least you had a little chance for your body to be like, okay, here we go, like, and then you get it, and so it's a little more prepared, but even then, that's not great. So let's get started on this today. As you can see, we've got this little Mero-chan starting to come together. I did not do too much over the time that we were, not here. You can see some of this is still magnety, so it falls apart kind of easy. The only things I did off camera were I added a couple of magnets into her head, and this will be for purposes later, which I have to get things done. So she has a couple magnets, but like not a lot, so we have to get some of them wrapped up. Let me zoom in a little more. So yeah, she's not fully magnetized. I did also go ahead and I heat treated her, her dress, and so as you can see here, there's a little bit of an offset and things that we'll have to kind of correct. But the dress is fitting together. It looks a lot better now. There's still some slight, again, alignment issues that we'll have to sand down, and then eventually we're going to be puttying over this anyway, so it won't be visible at all in the final figure, but you know, just for consistency's sake, I want to point it out here that it does fit a lot better. I'll take it apart in a second, show you guys the magnets, but I also just wanted to mention that, like, even if it looks like it does not fit very well, that's fine, because once we put in her side, you can't tell at all. So that's kind of the purpose of this. And then let's open her up, or at least take the back off. You can see we're using a combination here of magnets and wire. That's kind of what we decided on, to try to get this to fit together, because some of these are kind of hard. I think last time I mentioned, that this did not fit well, and so I also went ahead and I treated this, and so now the piece is fine, and this is a magnet, so it'll just snap together. And lastly, the skirt. Turns out I needed a total of a lot of magnets. There we go. 6 magnets in each side, or in each side, for a total of 12, and these just snap. So that's the benefit of magnets here, is that you get this nice snap, the pieces fit, it looks a lot better, and there was basically no room for a pin to go in, and so this magnets allow you to get a pretty strong fit here, without needing to do anything. So, and I like the snap. It's pretty satisfying. So, in terms of what we have to do today, we do have to finish up the pinning. At this point, there's only a couple of small things left that we have to do regarding the pinning. It's mostly these little pieces. Last time, I think when we stopped, we had put in magnets on this side, but not in the frills side. So there's these little pieces in here that are frills that go into the arm, and so we'll have to do that. We'll have to get the rest of her hair pinned, which is not too big of a deal. It's just like these little bows that fit in, and then this piece doesn't even need pinning. It's just like an insert that goes in. So still a couple thingies left to do, but then after that, the kit will pretty much be fully pinned, and so we'll just be able to start all of the putty work, which there will be lots of it. I think I've shown you guys multiple times at this point, but this kit is full of holes. You can see them. You probably can see them in the photo that I posted on Twitter. Here's a good image when it focuses. Like, all of those are holes. They're everywhere, just like every single piece. And so we'll be working piece by piece and trying to get them out. So enough wrap up. Let's get started. I'm gonna put some of these pieces to the side here so we can focus on whatever is remaining. So, oh yeah, these we'll need. This we will not need. This we will not need. Let's start up with finishing the hair. So she's got this little bow here that needs to be pinned. She also has a base, which you know what I think we'll do is we're probably just gonna drill directly into the foot. I'm not gonna add a magnet or anything, and I'm probably I'll just drill straight through this base. And then that way when we have the acrylic base or whatever we decide on, just all of it can be put together and it'll go onto a separate base, because there's no way that like this is gonna support itself with all of the heavy stuff that she's on. It might if we had no. I wanted to say it might, but it wouldn't. Yeah. This would have to be like such an incredibly strong glue, it wouldn't work. So we'll do some drilling on the leg as well. I'll set that aside. And okay, let's take out these as well. So yeah, only things left to pin are these, this, and she has this little bird that sits on the top of her head. I think we can probably get that pinned, I'm not sure. And then these two like orange things. They're like little orange accents. I'll have to check the height on those because we may not be able to pin those either. They may be too shallow for even my smallest magnet. So let's do this. First thing we're gonna do is finish up the bow here. Okay, and let's move these over here. Fairly straightforward. Make sure that, yeah. Yep, okay. So I'm just gonna get my pilot holes ready. And then just go in with the 1/16. That's about as large as it's gonna need for this. I actually don't need any of this anymore. Just need this. Okay. Let's see. Which size pin am I gonna use? Yeah, they're all stuck on the side here. Oops. If I can get them. Wow, what the? Okay. I have kind of a variety of magnet sizes in here right now. I need to make a new order of these small magnets. I've been running kind of short on them, and so you may notice that there's like multiple lengths. So some of them are like, 1/16, 1/8, and then there's like some really long ones in there. So I think I'm mostly using the 1/16 at this point. Some kind of junk on it, so I'm gonna remove it. There we go, that one's good. So we'll drill both sides and then glue them at the same time. Just want to make sure that this is the right size hole. Whoa, okay. A little tiny bit more. Yep, that's about good. Okay, let's drill the other one. Okay, let's start with the really small. Oh, this has got that weird bubble in it. Oh, I might need to go grab my X-Acto knife. I left it downstairs. Try to get some of that bubble out. Yep. Okay. Oops, sorry guys. This is the one that has a convenient R. I've never seen a little guide keyhole that has a letter on it for left and right. Usually it's just like etched into the resin if it's there at all, and so that's such a cute little thing. And it's like right in the middle of the R too, so. Whoops, there you go. It's rolling all over the place. Tiny bit more. You really want that magnet completely flush with the resin. It's okay if it goes in a little bit, but you don't want it to stick out, especially if you have these pieces that already fit together so well. Any extra like height to the kit will make it so it doesn't fit properly. All right, so let me grab my glue. And what we're gonna do is we're going to glue both of these at the same time. And I also want them to fit the same way as this hole here. So what I do is I check the polarity of the magnet first. And since this one sticks in here, I want this one to face the same way. And then both of these will have a magnet in the opposite pieces. This probably will make sense when I'm gluing, so. Basically, I want to match up the polarity in the head as much as possible and have them face the same way. Once you like start doing it the opposite way, like one hairpiece has a polarity one way and the other one has one the other way, it starts to get really complicated. Not so much for this kit, but for other kits it can really mess you up, so. Alright, just getting my glue ready right now. It's still, again, cold here. It's winter, so. There we go. And both of these are 1/16 inch diameter magnets, and I think the length is 1/6. Whoa. What the? That was Rocket. I think Rocket just sneezed. I thought something like fell, but he just sneezed because I just saw him like rub his nose. Okay. I don't know if you guys heard that. It was like something falling. Alright. Anyway, what was I saying? 1/16 inch by 1/16 inch. And this is a 2-part epoxy glue. We're just mixing both parts together. Yeah, that was really random. I was like, what? Okay. Alright, so we're going to match up this polarity first, which is fine. Do this by dipping the glue. Hopefully this will come out a little bit more. Hopefully this will go in easily. Remember some of these. Yep, there we go. Okay. And we're gonna push lightly. That one, pretty good, but I'm gonna drill a tiny bit more just because I noticed it's going out just slightly. We still have a bit of time with our glue, so it's fine. Okay, double check again. Yep. Okay. So put in the magnet. And I'm just using like a end of a precision Q-tip to push it down. All right, and since those match up, now I'm gonna take this, flip it on the other side, and stick it into the other piece that we drilled. Like that. And push that down as well. There we go. Let's let that focus. You can see it's completely flush. And the polarity of these two should match up now. So because we matched up this side of the other piece, turning it over will allow us to have the same polarity on this side. Well, again, we'll double check, but it should be good. I don't need to mark it in this case. All right, so we'll let that sit for like a little while and start moving on to the arms here. And then we can double check make sure all of this is good. This should like be sitting here. Oh yeah, like that. That will sit. Feels a little off somehow. Don't know why. This might need some. We'll check it. Okay. And I'm distracting myself. All right. So last time, I think this is where we stopped. Let's see. We glued all of these magnets into the side. These, again, are part of the arms. And all of the polarity on these is the same. So you can see the magnet matches all of them. And that's what we want because then the opposite sides of these will be the same for all of them. These do already have the holes drilled, which is great. This one in particular had kind of a weird hole because there was an air bubble pocket that popped somehow during casting and it messed it up. So that's not great, but it is what it is. And I did forget what hole size we drilled. I think these were actually smaller holes. Yeah, so these are 132-inch height holes. So I need to grab my small size pins and magnets. So these are the very smallest size that I have that we will be using for the frills here. Very nice. Again, these match up, and so let's grab a couple of these. Let me make sure that they break apart. That's the big thing. These little ones, when I dab them in glue, it tends to like group them together. And so I want to make sure I have, oops, crap. Enough. Okay. All right. So if I'm doing that right, none of these should fit. Yep, that's the case. Okay. So now we just have to glue these because we've already drilled the hole. This glue's already pretty good still. So let's just start. Oops. Okay. Oops, try to focus this as I can. Come on. Okay. I'm gonna try my best here. I could not drill these very hard in because the area that we have to work with is so small. It's very thin on the other side, so. Okay, that one's pretty good. Okay, and let's do this side. Okay. This glue is already getting pretty tacky, so it should not be too long. Oops. Yep, we're wrapping up all the holes today, and then it's all about puttying the holes. So, all the prep work on this kit. Okay. Welcome, by the way. Double check. Okay. And let's see, I think we have enough. Nope, this glue is too tacky now. So let me mix another bit real quick. I have just a few more cardboards left, so might need to cut some more as well. Whoa, I literally just threw my glue. Okay. Okay, there we go. There's that. Really barely need any, so. But it's probably good we mixed a little bit extra because this is that one hole that is extra drilled out because the air bubble. Okay. Okay, this one's gonna be a little interesting. I think actually I need 2 of them, so I'll just stack 2 together. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna go about this one because this hole is so large here. I have to pull this off screen for a second, guys. Just give me a sec. Yeah, because these are stuck together. Okay, let's see. Let me grab my other magnets. Okay. So I'm gonna use a 1/16 inch length on this. So we've got some extra wiggle room. Oh man, okay. Okay, you know what we might have to do is fill this in with resin first and then drill again and get the hole in that way. I think this should be enough support as I hold this. I think this should be enough support for now, but the hole here is just too large for the 1/16 inch, and I thought that might be the case. So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit and we'll just let these other magnets dry and then we'll fill this in later and I can just drill another magnet in it later. That's the importance of making sure that your drilled holes are the right size, because otherwise it just doesn't fit or it kind of slides around. You can sometimes get away with it if your glue is really tacky, but I'm not really gonna mess around with that right now. We've got a lot of other work to do. All right, so I'm just cleaning this up real quick. Get off some of the extra glue because it gets on your fingers and stuff. Okay, so let's drill that hole into her leg next and get that out of the way while we wait for these other pieces to kind of get tacky and dry up, and then we'll parts check them and so on and so forth. So next up is this leg. I can kind of remove this leg because we don't need that anymore. And we're just gonna drill straight kind of down into the leg as much as we can. So she has a little tiny keyhole right here. And what we're gonna do is drill through that and down straight as much as we can. Not too far. You don't need too much, you don't need to go like all the way up the thigh or anything, but I want to probably get around up to the middle of her calf here. That will be an extra long support. I might be able to go like maybe about here. That would also be pretty fine. So my only question here is how big this keyhole is, because if it's pretty small, and it looks like it is, I might just have to use this 0.5. Let's get a quick pilot hole and then we can angle it how we want. It's a little bit close to the edge. Crap. Alternatively, I could just like cut off the little hole completely, or the little keyhole, if there were no plans to put it into the base, but okay, that should be okay. Let me see how large this drills. The 0.8. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 0.8. I typically try to use 0.8 millimeter or larger for all of my foot supports. 0.5 is a little too small. All right, so I'm angling it kind of to try to get the hole, and then I'm gonna try to go straight down, but let's see. Kind of hard at this angle because from my position I have to like look at it and see if it's drilling straight down. I can also kind of do that. That might be more helpful. Just have to angle it nicely. Nope. Okay. It's easier to hold it straight down, like with your hand, because then that way you can see which way you're drilling. If you're going at it from like an angle like this, drilling towards yourself, it's a little bit harder. So, but this should be good. And that's what we want here. So you can see that the keyhole is angled, but the pin is going straight in. And so like her foot is at an angle. So now we're drilling straight. So we can just keep going. And since we knew we drilled straight, we shouldn't be drilling through any part of the leg at any point. If you would end up doing that, then something went wrong. Can pull out the nice little dusties. It's already pretty far in the leg. Go a little bit more. That's pretty good. You can also kind of roughly test it by checking with your drill bit, but at the same time you don't want to break your drill bit in the kit. Oh, hello Cannon. How are you doing today? We are indeed working with Little Bird. Just getting some final pinning wrapped up before we move on. I have a question for you actually, since you have built this kit. Did she have a lot of like air bubbles and holes and some fitting issues? I'm wondering if I just received like a bad copy or something. Oh, you're at work? Well, hopefully you can answer my question. Because I am having like a hell of a time finding all of these things wrong with this kit. And I know you did yours as part of like a group build, so I was wondering if other people had the problems that I'm having. It's weird. Okay, I think we've drilled mostly far enough, but I'm gonna check. You didn't? Okay, that's interesting. Really? Yeah, this kit, my kit is filled with air bubbles, like completely filled. And the parts like didn't fit. I've had to heat treat it. I've had to do all sorts of things. And so I was like, I couldn't believe when you got, like, people have been saying this is a good beginner kit, because to me this is like at least 40 hours of work. Sorry everybody, spoiler alert, it's gonna be a long stream. But yeah, there's so many holes in this kit, like they're everywhere. Here alone, you can see like there's just a whole bunch here. They're like all over the head. Hopefully, yeah, they're everywhere. And then even when I was taking the photo, like there's even some like in the front of her face now. Yeah, okay, see? Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think maybe I just got a bad kit then. Cause like, look at this. Did yours have this problem? Huge air pocket? Yeah, it's like incredibly horrible. I think what likely happened here, and now that I think about it, this is probably the case. I bought this directly at Wonder Festival, so it is very possible that this was a batch of kits that Whoopie Pie cast directly herself or themselves. Yeah. And so it sounds like the ones that you buy from Booth are much higher quality. Like you won't have this issue, and so that's a good thing. I'll be telling people that. Seems like I have had the bad experience here, and the odd thing, because I thought this would be a cute, easy beginner kit. Not the case at all. Absolutely not. I'm glad you did not have these problems, Cannon, because like this was crazy, and this is just another day of work for me. But I was definitely going to be like, I cannot recommend anybody to have this kit if you're a beginner. But if it's a Booth, like if you're buying it from Booth, yeah, I think that's what happened. I think I got the first edition of this, and maybe they were cast directly by the sculptor, and I just got, you know, I got bad luck. I think I'm gonna go with that, because I was like, this is crazy. There's holes here, you know, they're everywhere. They're all over. And so the resin is really nice, but the holes are horrible. If you get a chance, Mr. Freaky, yeah, definitely check it out. I think that hopefully it's the right. Even after priming, hardly any bubbles showed up. yeah, this is we have a completely different experience here. I've got like, you know, pieces that are like chunked off. I've got re-sculpting work to do. I've got all these holes here. They're everywhere. So, all right. Well, bad for me, but good for you guys, I guess. I just get along sigh. I wonder if my other like little nurse kit has that many issues then, because I did buy a nurse like mousy kit from Whoopie Pie, and that one was from Booth. Yeah, it's bad, Canon. It's real bad. Like, it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm a little disappointed actually hearing that everyone else is having these great experience. Yeah, seriously, Mr. Freaky. They sent it to the people who wouldn't have. Oh God. They're like, no, Munto, you gotta bring out the Bondo again. Sorry, that's just how life is for you. Yeah, well, that about sums up my life, so that's fine. It's fine because you guys are gonna be the ones to watch me do it. Or not. So, there we go. Okay, while I'm talking, just getting this pinned in. You can see the long pin here. Can kind of bend it if I need to, but for the most part, this fits pretty fine. Don't need to do too much more with that at this point. I'm just gonna keep that here. You get a piece of the dress chip out because, well, okay, that's you doing it though. No worries on that then. All right, so the Bondo. Yeah, well, you know, I keep getting these kits that I have a million hours of work on, so no surprise. My fault for supporting the sculptor before everyone else learned about him. Yeah, let me know, Mr. Freaky. I'm very curious now at this point. It's like crazy. Okay, let's check the head and how it's doing. You can see the power of magnets. We can just snap everything together. Prime gray after Bondo. Yeah, Bondo definitely shows up even if you're priming white. So you gotta kind of be mindful, especially if you're gonna be painting clear. You'll have to work around it and with it. There we go. Okay, so there's a little bit, nope, actually it fits pretty well. So let's get this zoomed in so you guys can see. Get out of the way, frills, stupid. There we go. So despite all of her holiness, which see here, crazy, oops, everywhere as I drop that off, she is fitting very well together. So at least there's that. There will be a lot of priming and a lot of holes to fill, but that's not too big of a deal because that's kind of what I do and what I get paid to do. So anyway, let's check on these ones. I think these should be done as well. And then all we have left is the little bird on her head and, oops, guys can't even see it, these two little orangey pieces here, which I'll check shortly. So let's check this. I think, nope, this was the wrong one, I think. Yep, so that fits. More holes, as you can see. There we go. Actually, this one fits a little oddly. What's going on here? So this should be fitting in a little bit better. Oh, I think this magnet is up a little bit too much. I don't know how I can do that. Let's see. There we go. I'll just rip it out. And let's glue this one real quick. Oh yeah. Yep. Despite all the, you know, hubbub, magnets are always fun and easy to work with here, so at least she's got that going for her. Okay. Want to double check. Yep. Okay. All right. So let me get this one re-glued real quick. Yeah, I do like the fit of this kit, and she is coming together quite easily. The only thing that I really had to do the big repairs on was the dress. But now that I know that mine is an exclusive problem to me, I feel okay. I'm gonna have to put that in my little blurb on my website once this kit is all done. Be like, yes, I recommend her, but you know, yada yada yada. Okay. This should be okay now. I'm gonna set this aside again, and then we'll just have to wait and see, but we can work on the other ones. All right, so. Actually, we do need the bird head. Let's see here. So there's a little indent here, unrelated to all the holes over here. This is where the little bird on her head fits. And there is a magnet that goes in here and probably at some point hits this. So I'm not really sure how far in it goes. And let's see, on the one you made for your friend, she ended up leaning a bit. You're pretty sure you used a big enough pin. Yeah, I have a feeling this one might be a leaner a little bit, depending on how far you drill up in the leg, if you did it all, because her head is pretty heavy and she's got these really heavy sleeves. I think those are the two heaviest parts of this kit, not including all of the, like, you know, skirt and all of that stuff. And so hopefully mine doesn't have leaning issues. We'll have to figure it out. I actually don't know what I want to do for her base either, so that's another kind of thing I'll have to figure out. Meanwhile, Mr. Freaky can't even find her. You got, well, you know, it is almost the new year, so I think you got a New Year's resolution. I know I do. You got her. Okay, let me know how the pieces are. And hi, Quilliana, how are you? Yeah, this kit's a cutie. We were just discussing how I am extremely unlucky because everyone else got beautiful kits without any problems, and mine has been full of holes and issues from day one. And I think to resolve that, we figured out it's because I bought mine from Wonder Festival, like at Wonder Festival. And mine is likely a first edition of some kind. And so we are unlucky that you guys have to see all of that, but it is what it is. And now we're just wrapping up the pinning. So figuring out what we need to do and doing it. That's what we do here. We solve problems. So if there's any problems, we're always here to solve them. All right, let me test this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you don't want to see your TFO box. Ooh, all your loots. That's a good one. You got your Buddha Miku from Mandarake. She's messy. Oh no, maybe you got an issue one too, because I remember my Buddha Miku was like mostly okay. She had a couple wrong things with her twin tails that I had to putty up and stuff, but that was about it. So okay, let's see. A lot of flash on the pieces. Yeah, that makes sense. I dealt with that. Okay, I don't know how far I can drill this hole here, because as you guys may or may not be able to see, the magnet is starting to peep through. Magnet. So I think I can get it to fit flush though. Yeah, that should be okay. Can probably go. Oh, there we go. Oh boy, I may have just stuck that in there. And this is what I mean about the polarity. So you want to angle your pieces, and the end of this so there's a magnet in here that goes through to the other side, and this magnet over here is reacting to this magnet. And so like right now it's almost pretty stuck. I just had to force it out. But you can see it just kind of fits in there on its own. And that's due to the polarity of this other side here. And so you really want to make sure that you're lining your stuff up correctly. Otherwise, like if this were on the other side, it's never gonna fit. It's gonna gravitate towards this hole here. So just some notes. So with that being said, let's drill the bird. And this one I'm gonna shave off. Oh, I need to grab my X-Acto knife. Okay. Let's read their comment first. You got her, but you're gonna wait a while to work on her. Yeah, that seems reasonable. At least she's not that many pieces though. Remember, she only had a couple pieces. The alternative hair is pretty cute too, the little tiny pigtails. So let me be right back really quick. I'm gonna put up my be right back sign, but I'm just gonna run downstairs and grab my X-Acto knife because I've been building a model kit with my husband and it's been really fun, which I'll probably make a post about that at some point. So be right back. Right. All right, that was quick. That was just my excuse to use my be right back sign because I haven't used it in a long time. Okay, let me switch back and read your comments. You pinned the top bird? Yeah, this one's seems like an easy one to put down, so I'm glad that I'm going the right way around it. The holes aren't as bad, some thin pieces. Magnet antenna. Thank you, Meds. And I'm glad to hear, Mr. Freaky, that your kit is not as bad, because it seems like I think all of Whoopie Pie's kits, if I'm being honest, they all have the flash issue. Like every single one of mine has had that issue. Got another hole. Oops. Yep. So it just drills right through it. But sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Yeah. Okay. So I think a lot of them have the flash issue, but the holes seem like my problem, if I'm being honest. Okay. I'm basically right now I'm sanding off the little indent on this bird because we're filling the indent with a magnet, and so there will be nowhere for this bird to sit if I don't cut off this entire indent here. And then we're gonna drill a hole in the middle of the indent, and that's where our other magnet will go. So I'm just shaving that off real quick. Sorry, you guys can't see it too well. And let's drill the hole. It actually probably doesn't really matter where. This bird could fit anywhere. That seems good. Let's see, any tips for the thin part where it's non-existent? It kind of depends on like where it is. Usually I end up filling it in with resin, but sometimes it can be hard. It just kind of depends, like if it's completely hollowed out or if you just need to like buff up the area with some stuff. Yeah, I hope you guys can get some Whoopie kits. She does tend to restock them around Wonder Festival times, and so that would be a good opportunity to check. I think her most recent ones were these two like little steampunk birds, and I think she sold those last Wonder Festival. And Wonder Festival was online, but she went ahead and sold them on booth, and so you can still get her stuff. Okay, I'm gonna use a 1/16 on this bird. Okay, let me click this. Oh yes, I do remember this. I think you've shown me this one before, Mr. Freaky. That is a very cute one. It looks like the dress could be the one that's problematic, huh? The woodpeckers. Are those the steampunk birds, Cannon? I don't recall off the top of my head. She's done a lot of them at this point. Quite a few birds, so. Okay. Almost there. Just a tiny bit more. There we go. I also have to be mindful because there's this like little tiny beak on this bird, and I really don't want that to snap off. So I'm just trying to be careful here. Okay, let's see. A few bits of the clothing are really thin. Yeah, feel free to send it to me. I'll try my best. I don't have to deal with thin resin too often, but when I did, I remember I had to basically fill it all in, and it was not a fun time, but it happened. All right, so let's get this bird finished up. Weird, something on there. And then all we have left is the little orange pieces, which again, I don't even know if I can pin those, so. And then we are pretty much ready to start puttying. We can do a final kind of assembly, a dry fit, so to speak. Except it's not really dry at that point because we've pinned it all, so. Alright, this glue is pretty viscous, so. Okay, so we're gonna apply this one first, and then the next one will be the little bird. That's good. Again, just gonna dip the glue, stick it in there, slide away, and then push down. Try to get that as close in as possible. I also want to make sure that this magnet is fitting straight, because if it fits at an angle, the bird is gonna fit kind of lopsided, so. Oh, I guess that works too. Okay, and that's the side I want. Okay, double check, yep. Let's do that. All right, there we go. Sorry for the blurriness, I'm just not looking at the camera real quick. Okay, still a little upset. I'm assuming that that is bird and not burn. But yeah, I'm really surprised how quickly her kits are selling out now too. Ugh, it's just the online way, I think. Everybody's buying kits online now, even people who are not technically in the hobby, so it's getting harder and harder to find kits that don't sell out in 5 seconds. Makes it easier to work on my backlog though, rather than buy stuff. So I try to see the silver lining in that, but it is a little frustrating, especially when it's something that you really want. Okay, gonna move some of these, and let's bring over these little oranges. We'll check on the bird once we're done. Okay. And let's take a look at this. So, I think we can get away with using a 132-inch height on this, or on these pieces. Yeah, because that will take us about into the nub here. I'm a little skeptical of this piece, but we can try this one. Let's see, I'm not sure if you remember the girl I mentioned or not, Takiudo, but she buys a ton of kits. I think I remember you mentioning the name, but I thought that was a Japanese sculptor. I think I'm getting messed up. I think, is that the one on Insta? The person on Instagram? Sorry, I'm like wiping my hands off too. Okay, let's see. Okay, sorry, I'm like preparing myself here. And let's see, now you have a Tamiya enamels, you're gonna practice painting eyes. Ooh, that's a fun time. Very fun time. Tamiya enamels, huh? They do make a wide variety of colors, and I do like how they're easy to find these days. Well, not so much find, but they have a wide like color variety, and it's sometimes easier than the Gaia enamels. Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about, Canon. Yeah, I think I saw the sculptor retweet that one actually. And let's see, someone on MFC and Insta, she's been collecting for about a year. Yeah, I think I remember either seeing or following or something about that person. 35 in a year is kind of a lot, but then when you consider like the amount that you can accumulate a lot, then I don't know. 35 in a year is kind of a lot though. Okay. But, you know, you also have to approach this hobby with like the view that you may never find what you want again. So I think a lot of people tend to go impulse crazy when they're buying garage kits at first because they find like so many good deals or whatever. But then you end up like paring your collection down later. I know that I've purchased like a lot of impulse things when I first started it, and I ended up selling off a lot of them. So not too bad, you know. You just got to figure out your limits in this hobby before you know, really get down to it. Okay. I'll keep an eye out for that kit too, Mr. Freaky. It's going to be a hard one to find, especially because it's original character and new sculptor that nobody really knows about. So, also, I think that she just had a baby, that sculptor, so she's not like super active sculpting either. Okay, so I'm going to test this and see if it's in enough. Nope, a little more. Have a good one, Rebel Star. Thank you and Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's almost New Year where you're at, so at least like the day before. So hope you guys have a good New Year. New Year, more kits for everybody. That's the nice New Year's goal. Okay, what I can also do here to kind of ease the burden is drill the other side, so in here a little bit more, and then that way the magnets will still match up. But I think we'll be able to be flush here. Yeah, a little more. Let's see. She bought one of your grill kits and it was a shock because it's selling for $300 on Mandarake. Wow, yeah, that's a lot for one kit. That is definitely a lot. But then again, it's not, because like a lot of kits are anywhere between like 25 to 30 now, it seems. Everywhere. Everything is going up everywhere. But I would say that the price of resin has not risen as much as like PVC. So if you're factoring that in, this is a great hobby. And yeah, I feel you. Like, we were looking at New Year's, or at photos from this past year to see, like, you know, how the year went and all, and there was so much that happened that I didn't even remember. It just flew by. Like, I've had complete brain fog about everything, and this year has been crazy. Alright, that's pretty good. Just double check. Oh yeah, oops, I literally just stuck that in there. Maybe a little bit too well. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right, so that definitely fits. Let's try this other one here. Yeah, meanwhile, Mr. Freaky, you wanted to end your 2021 with a bang. I get it. Just went out there, you know, got someone to cough. I'm joking, of course. I hope that you feel better. It is not, cannot joke too much about COVID. It is still a pandemic and we're still living through it, so it is what it is. Just make sure you're vaccinated. The scary thing is that Omicron seems to be like breaking through it though, and so that's why, at least where I'm at, they're kind of locking down things a little bit more. But at some point it's like, oh, I want this to be over. My school might go online. I don't even know. Okay, that's pretty good. I think we've all been in kind of a big brain fog this year. Gonna start 2022 with a second jab. There we go. Yep. Get it done. Oops, there we go again. Get it done. Get that vaccination. All right, let's do this side now, and then we'll get these drilled and pinned, and that will be it. And then we can move on. Not too bad. This we can remove. Actually, let's test this now. Still kind of weird. I feel like, polarity on this one feels wrong. I'll have to check that later. Let's see. Finding it harder to get the kits you want, and it's pushed you further to 3D printing. Yeah, 3D printing for sure. I think the exclusivity of kits is already something that drives people off, and then factor in everybody wanting an indoor hobby due to pandemic, and it's just gotten a little worse. It's been pretty rough. And Canon is very tired. I hope that your new year is better and that you end up not being quite as tired, whether from job or anything. Okay, that one's a little bit off, but hopefully I can recover here. Girlfriend and I have been having horrible brain fog. You've been trouble remembering what you ate for breakfast. Oh, yeah, I feel you. And like the days just kind of blur together sometimes. At least even when I was in school, it's just like you want to get through it. And it just, the whole year, it's just been like that. It's been crazy. Yeah, it's been really hard for everybody. Hey, thank you. Waffle Boy TM, thanks for the follow. We were talking about COVID, so not that fun. But that's not all we talk about on here. Oh, Curry sent you. Oh boy. Yeah. Thank you, Curry. I am Curry's wife. I build figures, and so you'll be watching me build a figure if you continue to stay around. Okay, while I test this. I think this hole's good. Let's try this other one. This one will go right in the middle. Sorry, focusing right on that camera. Okay, let's get that pilot hole in real quick. Technically, I guess I do kind of 2 pilot holes. I start out with my smallest drill bit and then I do 2 more, but that's just what I do. Definitely not needed. Okay. A little bit more. Okay, this one is gonna be a little bit hard to get the magnet in there. I can already see it, so we'll have to play that by ear. Don't think the magnets, the polarity is affected here. Let me test it real quick. It actually might be. Okay, so this is what I mean about the polarity here. So zoom in real quick. So we have this magnet here that extends somewhere a little bit into the leg or the arm here. The problem is that if you apply the magnet in a certain way, it's not going to fit no matter what. So this wants to gravitate over here, but because there's like poles here, it's not gonna fit. And so you actually have to angle the other side and put the polarity here. And so technically it would be like these magnets are matching up. I hope that makes sense. You have to like follow the path of polarity in order to get the magnets to fit. And I think that will be the case here too. Yeah. Yeah, so this one does not fit, but this fits very well here. So with that being said then, what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill these first because we're relying on this polarity. Well, not drill, glue these first, these 2 magnets, and then we'll switch the polarity and get these ones in. And let's see. Yes, I do use Tamiya enamels. I use those and the Gaia Notes enamels. What colors do you think are worth doubling on? Definitely. Mr. Freakin. Oh my god. Definitely white and black. So those I try to get a lot of. I actually use the Gaia Notes white and black, but I think Tamiya will be fine. I don't have doubles of any of them. Like the bottles of Tamiya, they last me forever. And you used so little of them if you're just painting eyes and doing details that the only ones I purchased double on are white and black. Yeah, that's all I can say about Tamiya. If we were talking about the Gaia Notes enamels, that would be a different story. I do try to double up on all of the cyan, magenta, and yellow, but that's just like because those are the only colors that they really offer besides the neons and a couple other niche ones. So I would purchase colors Canon that you think you can mix really well, or I would also purchase ones that come in like standard colors. So let me just pull 2 of them out that I'm gonna talk about, because sometimes like having to mix your own colors is just kind of a pain, and it's easier to have a pre-mixed for some of them. So let me pull a couple out. Okay, so you obviously want to be buying your blues, your yellows, your other ones, but on top of that, I've had really good luck buying just the generic green. So this is just green out of the bottle. This one, light green, I recommend if you're looking. It serves as kind of a easy mix color, but it's also, this is a really difficult color to mix on yourself because you can't get that high pigmentation. And so I recommend this one. I also recommend buying a purple right out the gate, because again, this is a really hard color to mix on your own. This already has like such brightness to it, and it's highly pigmented, which means it's a lot easier to work with out of the bottle. And I also bought red brown because I've seen a lot of sculptors use this when they're painting eyes, and I wanted to try it out, and I really like it. It's a really rich brown, and so this is a good alternative if you're looking for a brown to mix with yellows or oranges or black or anything. I would recommend this. And so this is a good mixer, and it works well on itself as well. And let's see. On your first batch, you bought 2 clear oranges. Yeah, I did that with blue, clear blue, and I've used my clear blue like barely at all. And so the clear Tamiyas are really interesting because they are just like clear colors. So like when you airbrush, they're clear. The enamels are like that too, and so you can use them for some pretty unique things. Like if you're putting a clear blue on a light green, like you'll get a deeper green, that kind of thing. And so I need to do some more experimentation with them, but I don't have a lot of clear enamels, and so kind of hard. And let's see, on your first batch, purple and pink you got. Oh yeah, I think you'll get a nice variety of warm tones with that if you're using those to mix with. But I would definitely add in some white, maybe add in a brown if you want to get a little more richness as opposed to black there. Yeah, I don't know. Tamiya offers a lot of different colors too, so there's probably a bunch that you could potentially just add to your order and get in there and mix in. Really, for anyone painting, my advice is always buy more white and black, because that's what you're gonna use the most of for sure. All right, I'm mixing some glue on the side here, so. Okay, put that over here. All right, so we've got 2 small holes that we're gonna be drilling and filling. Let's see. Don't think that one's gonna go in real nice though. Yeah, this is gonna be problematic. Okay, so I'm gonna do is flip this. Oh, I left my Sharpie downstairs too. Shit. Okay. All right. Let's just try to deal with it. I was gonna mark one end of it so I could kind of see. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, but I might be able to because of the polarity. Yep, that works. Okay, so let's grab pointy Q-tip. So basically the polarity is kind of guiding this hole here, and so that was probably half off screen. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Come on. There we go. Roughly. I don't know why camera's not wanting to focus now, but because we already have a magnet in here, I was able to kind of get that magnet off, and it went into the hole on its own because it's seeking that polarity, the other opposite side of the magnet. So, okay, so that's that one. And now let's do this other side. The problem was this was the weird, oh no, this one was okay. All right. So same deal here. I'm gonna try to fit this magnet in. It's very hard sometimes with these little tiny ones. I can barely get them off. So I need those wooden toothpick tweezers or something. Yeah, okay. Let's see what I can do. There's another way to go about this, and that's put the glue it directly in and then drop the magnet in there and it will seek it. There we go. Yay, polarity. Good times. All right, so get those all situated and can probably glue these other ones now. Okay, sorry, I have not been reading the comments at all, so let me check real quick. Canon did not get brown, but you can add it. Yeah, I would add it if you can. It's not a must-have. Like, I only just started using it. I just like it, and so it's, you know, definitely not something that you need when you don't need it for every kit. And models in a free science lesson. Yep, that's the way to do it, right? Oops. Yep, there's actually, you know, a lot of science and things you can tie into building figures. Art and science is almost always tied together, even though people see them as very different things. And so the amount of times that I've had crossover has been very, very high. I mean, even my prior job and my career and everything isn't revolved around, you know, chemicals and safety and exposure and dust, and so it all ties together. All right, there we go. Mr. is still shopping. Yeah, and Yahoo Auctions is kind of, I'm sorry, it's kind of a pain in the ass to search through now. I've had to put so many different little exclusions because there's just so many unlicensed bootleg resins, bootleg listings on there now, and it's ridiculous the amount of bootlegs that auction site is allowing. It's really bad. So I have a bunch of, you know, things I try to remove from the listings, but even then it can be kind of a pain to sort through. Not so much a problem with you, Mr. Freaky, I'm just complaining. Yeah, it's annoying. All right, while we wait for those, I am gonna actually, this is kind of tied together. Oh, now it's working. What the? Oh, that's the other one. Duh. You're annoyed too. Yeah, it's a bad situation. I don't know what's up with it. I don't know what's up with this piece either. I think I messed up the polarity here. Can't really tell. But this is that piece that I glued twice already. Sometimes with these small ones, you can just kind of pull it out. No, that's too small. Might be able to cut it out. Yeah, I don't know. I hope they do something about it. I see people post on Twitter all the time how they're you know, annoyed that Yahoo Auctions allows that to happen, but I don't think there's anything that we can do about it. Okay, this is just me destroying my fingers while I try to pull out this. I might have to heat bend this piece, but I don't really want to. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, the question now is, did this piece always have this issue? Or is it the magnet causing it? It always had the issue. Okay. Interesting. But that fits okay. You can just kind of see it raised on this side. I'm not sure if you guys can tell. It kind of wobbles. It might be because the height of this other piece is too high. Not really sure. Yeah, it looks like the height of this piece is what's changing it. I'll have to fix that on my own, but for now I'll leave it open because I don't want to waste any more time on this when we got stuff to do. So let's do one more fitting of this kit together and then we can start the puttying. Let's see, I was browsing Twitter and I saw the Fox Girl with the broom kit. I want that kit so badly, but I don't know if I want to deal with LEP Studio again. We'll have to see. Yeah, she is so cute. Yeah, I love that sculptor. I can't find it right now, so if you want to post it, Canon, feel free. But it's a very cute kit, related to the little crying girl kit, which I have it here. So basically, Canon's talking about a sculptor that did the same kit as this. So this is a very cute kit. I posted this on my Facebook/Instagram. That was my last purchase of the year. And she is very lovely. But dealing with LEP was a little bit of a hassle because I think it's just like one guy and things have gotten really slow and it took like 2 extra months to get this kit. So it was kind of a pain. But well worth it because she arrived and she was fine. So I think I would deal with it again. Let me click to make sure we're talking about the same thing. Yep, Sean Yuya. I don't even need to click it. Yeah, it's a beautiful figure, and Sean Yuya is a really talented sculptor. Mr. Frike, you're funny. Assuming I'm gonna sell my stash. Sometimes I do, though. I'll let you know. It's mostly like things that I impulse bought that I don't feel like I want anymore, but it does happen. I probably should have put her head in first. So we're just doing a dry fit right now. Whoops. Yeah. Oh, this nice calming music. Okay. Put this head here. Actually, this head can probably go on last. Maybe I will order that broom kit. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, that's 100% my style. But then I've like ordered everything of Sean Yuya's. So problems. Okay, there we go. Looking good so far. Let's get separated here. So this is the bows. Oops, that goes there. Yep. This goes here. Can try the bird again. Yep, bird fits fine. A little bit lopsided. I'll have to figure it. Actually, no, that's okay. Yeah, bird is okay. I think she's just slightly lopsided, so I might be able to arrange that a bit. And then these. So, zoom out a little. Looking cute. Fits mostly well. And the head, which is linked here to this, which comes off very easily. So really, like, these are connected. And then all of this is connected. And I gotta kind of hold the back for now because it's not a deep pin. But this is more or less what she'll look like. It's a little bit slippery right now because this pin is so small. But she's a good size. Very cute. There's still these here, and then let's see, these little things here, but we're not going to glue those in right now, or at least check them because we just tried it. So this is what she'll look like. Full size is, I don't have a scale here, like surface primer a little bit taller. That's the only reference I have right now. I don't have a ruler near me. But yeah, so she's a pretty good size in terms of chibiness, I guess. If we're asking about like scale size, it's basically nothing. Here's a measuring cup, so like a medicine cup. She's about half the size of a medicine cup, or like 2 sizes. So very cute, very chibi, exactly what I wanted, exactly the size I needed. So let's get this separated or just broken down, and we're gonna start the puttying now. We still have quite a bit of time to do that and start it, so might as well. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. She's actually pretty hefty when I'm thinking about it, and there's no way that like this little thing here is gonna support all that weight. It's just not happening. It looks cute. It looks like it was designed with good intentions, but it's just not happening. So always keep that in mind when you are building kits. If a kit comes with a little base or something, it is actually possible for it not to work with the base, and so you got to be prepared to deal with that. But that's fine. We'll put an acrylic plate, or maybe I was thinking I'll just pin her onto a flower base. I don't know yet. So, all right. So, with all of that out of the way, I'm just gonna shove these pieces aside. Let's zoom in. Whoops, not out. In. Bounty. And I think it's time to bring out the putty. So, and yeah, I don't remember actually. I feel like I'd have to dig through my Wonder Festival footage. I don't know if we got a photo of it, but there's probably, she was just drilled through and there's like a plate or something that was holding her up. Let me pull out my putty real quick. I'm gonna grab my UV resin and the Bondo, although I prefer not to use the Bondo right now, but we might have to, I don't know yet. All right, this can go here. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna start with the bottom of the kit and work our way up. So that means probably working with this piece first actually, because there are a couple of holes in this area. Let's see, come on. There's a couple holes in the base. There's gonna be holes everywhere, so let's see. Mr. Freaky's coming in with a hot take. Yep, this is what I meant. This is probably what I'll do. We'll have her on the base, and then this is just an acrylic plate, and so they put her on a little acrylic plate. Pretty simple. You just drill directly through the base like we did, and then drill into the plate, and that will hold the kit up. Although that's still a pretty thin plate, so they must have, I don't know. Sometimes you can get away with it, sometimes you can't. So for long term, I always recommend buying a little bit thicker, but it's sometimes not as cute looking, because a thick acrylic base can be a little unsightly, so it just depends. All right, so I've pulled out my 3 putties that I use. I have this UV Gel Clear R. This is a UV curing resin as opposed to like a traditional putty, but helpful for filling in holes like on the face and stuff, because then it dries completely clear, and so you're not going to have any of that color showing up in the prime job, or if you're priming clear, which we won't be doing with this kit, but if you did, this would be the product to use. Also can use this or any other clear UV curing resin. Doesn't have to be this brand. On clear pieces, that works too. So I've used this to fill in clear pieces. It's just kind of an all-purpose. Next, we're going to be using Tamiya light curing putty. This is a brand new thing that I have had in my closet. I finally kind of gave up on my old tube. It was decrepit and I don't even know how old, and so this is a beautiful new tube. I cannot believe how nice this stuff is out of the bottle. Every time I open it again, I'm just like, oh, I remember why I love this product so much. And I was dealing with like old crusty putty. Now I have new beautiful putty. So we'll be using a lot of this, I think, because I like this stuff. And now that it's new, we'll have a million ways to use it. Lastly, my favorite best friend, Bondo, the glazing and spot putty. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to use this, but given how bad the kit I got was, this is just gonna have to be used. I think there's so many tiny pinholes and things that I didn't even notice that are gonna show up, I know. And so we'll use this as well, sadly. Just adds time. All of the pinning and puttying, the more bubbles you have, the more time it takes to get this kit primed and painted. And so it's just really unfortunate that that ended up being the case with this one. So anyway, I will not do anything move farther in this by complaining, because that's just the life of a modeler. Sometimes you get good kits, sometimes you don't. If you only deal with good stuff, then you end up limiting yourself to very, very few kits, and so you gotta be prepared to know how to deal with issues when they come up. So let's just get going. Let me zoom in more if I can. Try to keep this in here. And what we're gonna do is fill all of the holes. So let me take a quick look through it. I think this piece has, looks like 3 or so. Wow, already I don't know what's happening. Yeah. Yeah, I think that this is a good teaching aid for you guys for sure. For me, it's just like, oh boy, here we go again. But it's fine. I actually like the building process, so I don't think it's too big of a deal. You know, but sometimes you just want a nice, easy build, and a lot of times you don't get it. I'm gonna try to keep this focused, but I'm also puttying, and we're dealing with the light curing aspect here, and so we have like a short window. I highly recommend this product to Canon and to anybody else. I started using this pretty early on in my kit building, I don't want to say career because it's not really a career, but in my kit building hobby, I guess, and I love it. It goes on super nice. It does dry slightly yellow. It looks really bright yellow out of the bottle, but once you sand it down, it turns into a much paler yellow, and so it's really easy to prime over. It works fantastic with the kind of like off-white resin. So this is what I'd consider like the pure white resin. This works really well with both types, but mostly the off-white. Let's see, is it any light or just UV light? This is any light, so it's not UV. So all you have to do is stick it up to a light. So you have your kind of wet putty here, and I stick it up to my hobby light here for about 30 seconds to a minute, and by then it's cured. And so you really got to keep it in like a dark place. Otherwise the tube is gonna dry out, but it works really great. It sands down amazingly. My problem meds with the basic Tamiya type putties, like the gray one, is that it kind of shrinks, and this one doesn't shrink at all. It's a different formula compared to the regular Tamiya basic white and the basic gray putties. And so for that reason, I really like it. Because I hated dealing with the basic Tamiya putties. I don't use those at all anymore. And yeah, so this, basically it's already dry now. It kind of dries shiny, and then you kind of brush it off, and then it's matte. And so you can see it's really bright now. The longer you let this sit as well, it kind of cures out, and then it just comes like an slightly off yellow. It's very pale, so. And let's see. Canon says all you have right now are the regular white and gray one, Milli Putty and Bondo. Okay, yeah, so that's a pretty good starter set. The Bondo for sure is great for the pinholes, the Milli Putt for like larger repairs, kind of joint repairs, which I don't think we have ever had to do that on here on stream, thankfully. And then the other putties are kind of like fillers, I guess. You got the US equivalent of Cyanon. Oh, what brand is that? Or what product is that? Because that is what I've been looking into getting. Cyanon, everybody, is another type of filler. I had a hard time explaining it. It's a very specific chemical mixture. I guess it's kind of the equivalent of using super glue and baby powder. So that's another way you can kind of mix things together. It's like a powder and liquid adhesive that fills in stuff, but it also dries clear. So let me know that product, Canon. I'll try it on stream. Star Bond. Okay, I've never heard of that. I'm gonna look into it because I've been wanting to try Cyanon, but it's one of those things that you can't get here in the US. All right, so now we're just starting our putty filling process. Try not to over sand this. I might have to kind of manipulate this a bit though, because this is not in a great spot. it dries opaque. Oh yeah, I guess cyanide dries white, right? I'm so used to it blending in with the resin that I just like assumed clear. Yeah, I think you're right there. So it should dry white or at least some solid color. I don't know about Star Bond, but cyanide I think dries white. Which is why when you see people use it in Japan, it like blends in completely. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that, everyone. I misspoke there, but... Okay. Oh, okay. So Star Bond does that too. Okay, I'm gonna look into that product. I'm very curious about it. All right. So that's pretty easy. Like this is all you have to do. The Tamiya light curing stuff dries so quick. We're almost done sanding this already. Let me check real quick with my magnifier, because this is a very small piece. Okay, should be good. All right, so let's see if I can get this zoomed in. It might be very hard because this is so small. Can't really see it that well anymore. Oh yeah, like here, that's the putty, and here, that's the putty. So these two spots we just filled in. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna do that for everything, so. Okay, and if you do get it, get the accelerator. What is that? Is that just something that speeds up the cure, or? I've never used it, so I don't know. It's hard to sand. Okay, well that's not great, but you know, workable, especially if it dries white.
I've got some work to do.
Okay, let's keep going. We're just gonna, my plan here is to putty all of the holes, the large ones that we've drilled, and then we're gonna go over it again, probably with the Bondo, but this way the Bondo won't enter any of these holes, and the Bondo will also fill in any spots that I miss. So I'm using it as kind of a second walkthrough. Okay, oops, I think I touched this a little. And let's see. At this point, I'm going to try to use my glove as much as I can because I don't want to put any more of my dirty hand oil on this. I've already touched it a lot though, so. Alright, I only see 2 holes for now, but I'm going to try to take a look at this after I finish sanding these 2 spots. Let's see. Hard to sand and it dries in seconds. Oh wow, okay. Is it a liquid that you just apply, kind of like cyanide, or is it, do you have to mix it together? Also. Okay, my friends are wanting to watch movies, but that's not gonna happen. Okay. Alright, I think we're good. Let's take a look. Yep. Alright, let's get these sanded down. Good thing about this is you can just apply it and reapply it and so on and so forth. I am running very, very low on my sandpaper because all of the ones I cut are downstairs. So I'm probably gonna have to cut some more. This is not doing the trick here. It's a liquid. Interesting. All right, well, I'll give it a shot. I'll have to see how easy it is to buy and how expensive. But I'm always willing to try out new putties and new products. I'm resistant a lot of times. I try to stick with what I know works for me, but I am willing to try new stuff too. So, okay. Something. This looks like another hole I missed. Yeah. So there's a little hole I can see here. Actually, 2 of them. Lovely. So we'll fill those in after. Yeah, after this one. let's see, once you apply the glue and you get covered, you want to spray the accelerator and you'll be able to work on it. Interesting. Okay, so it's kind of like a two-part thing. Like you apply the liquid and the liquid is not dry, and then you spray the accelerator on and then that dries it and cures it. Interesting. Yeah, definitely send the link to me or something. I'll probably forget because again, brain. But I am interested in it. Alright, don't want to oversand the booty, so let's skip that and fill in these 2 holes. Don't need very much of this product. A little goes a very, very, very long way. These tubes last me years, so again, it's like I think a tube of this is about $20, which seems like a lot for putty, but I mean I've used it for 5+ years, like each tube, and it doesn't really go bad. It just gets kind of like thicker. The putty gets thicker, and so for that reason I recommend it. That's like such a cheap thing if you're using it on tons and tons of kits. Another thing that I do recommend with it is that you make sure that there's kind of like 2 parts in here. There's the putty and then like the stuff that makes it wet, kind of like the oils and the chemicals in it. And so make sure that those are both really mixed well. You'll be able to tell because the oily stuff, the stuff that isn't the actual putty, it's like a really deep orange, kind of yellow orange. And so if that comes out and kind of oozes out, that's just the mixing chemicals. You don't want to put that in because it'll never cure. So kind of whatever you're seeing now that I'm applying, that's what the putty looks like, and you can see it dries fairly yellow. It looks really bright on the screen. It's a little less noticeable in real life, but it's still a yellow. And I'm hoping the primer that we'll put on will fill in some of these holes too, so we won't have to, you know, drill out literally every hole, because that's gonna take a while. Okay. Nope, what's going on here? There's something on the side here. That looks like another hole. Oh boy, okay. Yeah, there's one more hole here. So this is what I meant when we were sanding, when we're drilling, we're gonna find more. That's just how this kit was, so. But we're gonna try to get all the pieces filled in as much as we can during our first batch of repairs. I guess that's what we'll say. This is what I always call the batches. So this is the first round of repairs. Typically it takes the longest, and then the more stuff you find and fill in, the less it is. Oh yeah, fun times, right? You guys get to see the whole show. Yep. Well, I'm here always, you know. Not always, Tuesdays and Thursdays for the most part, to answer your questions and show you how to work on all these holes. If you're having trouble finding any of these putties, specifically like the Tamiya, I think the Tamiya light curing putty is getting harder to find. This one that I bought, I actually purchased it from Seal Model during my last order, because I was having trouble finding it too. It's not a type of putty that stores typically stock. They mostly stock like the basic types, and so you'll probably need to get it somewhere that sells more bulk type stuff if you're looking for it. That's not the first time I heard that it's hard to get this one. I have no idea about the Starbond stuff though, or a cyanon equivalent. It's like a specific chemical that is used. All right, let's get a little more. So I'm really sanding down just now with an 800 and a 1200 grit. So these are not, you know, rough grits that we're working with here. We're almost polishing, honestly, but I'm just buffing down the resin. Can't find the Tamiya one or the Bondo. Bondo, I would just look up automotive, like, glazing spot putty and see if there's an equivalent in your country, because it's basically just an automotive putty. It's used to fill in pinholes on cars, and it's used as like to fill in all the tiny dents and scratches before you prime your car. So this is not actually even a hobby product. This is like used for cars and car repair. So you can find alternatives. They're probably not under Bondo. I know like in Australia they don't have Bondo, but they have some other equivalent of a glazing and spot putty. So maybe try that. Yeah, I think products would differ. I know like your cleaning agents differ. A bunch of things are slightly different. I'm gonna grab some more sandpaper because I am out of 800 cuts. I left them all downstairs, so I need to grab a big sheet from my stash over here. And hopefully I still have some. I actually don't even know. Oh man. Give me one sec, guys. I think it was one of those things I needed to buy. And I don't know if I went and purchased it yet. I have 400. I have a flexible. Oh no. Okay. Alright, I need to actually. Oh, I see what I did. This might work actually. Okay. So I don't have an 800 paper. I have an 800 like flexi cloth. So I'm gonna see how this one goes, and I'll just cut that and use it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to run downstairs. You found 3M glazing and spot putty. Yes, that is the same. This is owned by 3M, so that is the product that I'm talking about. 3M makes a bunch of stuff like these. This is just a paper, sandpaper. It's pretty thick, but it's a flexible sandpaper cloth, and so I use it for my kits. Let's just cut like a small piece. There we go. We have more, so that will work. This is a 1200, so different color. All right, back to this. So let's take a look here. This leg. I think we've mostly filled it in for now, at least all of the big pinholes that I saw. So I think we're ready to move on to the next piece, which will be this leg here. So this one has a couple of holes, a couple here, one here, one on the tip of her toe, and I think that's mostly it. There may be one or two more I missed, but Cannon, I saw your beautiful organization. How can you dropped the whole thing? Or you just dropped the little box of the sandpaper? Because that, oh my god, I'm so sorry for you if you dropped the whole container. Canon had a very nice organization after they were using a very saggy shelf to hold everything. And I don't know the final outcome, but it was like one of those toolboxes that has the little compartments. That's a very handy thing you can use for storage, and not too expensive. Like, you don't need a dedicated hobby storage when there are other alternatives. Alright, that's kind of a lot of putty, but I feel you, because I drop things all the time, as you guys have seen on stream. It happens. Oops, there's like a little hair here. I don't want that mixed in. Want to organize and build the backlog. Definitely admirable. Very good lofty dreams there. Definitely want to finish your sumomo. Yes, that's a good plan too. Finishing work you've already started. That's a big one as well. Hopefully you can get that sumomo finished next year. Meanwhile, storage bins. Let's see. 39 bin drawer. Man. Yeah, that's a really nice amount of storage, honestly. I just throw everything into like, so I keep a limited amount of stuff that I use pretty much every kit, on my bench in like a little storage thing, and then I have a bigger storage in my closet. And so most of the back ordered stuff or like extra tape and all of that goes in the big drawer. Well, I hope you finish like a couple things, Mr. Freaky. That like I generally make my list way bigger than I actually finish like the stuff that I finished, but you know, at least we try. I'm looking at this now and I'm not sure if I'm seeing, more pinholes. Let me hold this up to the light really quick. Yep, they are. Okay. So I'm gonna drill a couple more holes here. When you sand, you may find out that you have pinholes because the area of the pinhole gets a little bit darker from the sanding dust and it casts a really tiny shadow. That's what I saw. So and there's also a random scratch here. I don't know how I missed that. You managed to make a new paint rack. Yeah, that one's really nice. I'm really glad that you upgraded from the soggy shelf. That's definitely a big one. All right, I'm gonna sand down this little one we've puttied here and then go in and putty those other holes. Wasn't perfect, but it works. Oh man. I mean, when it comes to storage, like I'm not too picky. I'm basically using like $5 wooden racks that I bought at Target. I don't need the fancy hobby setup. Like it's just, I don't know. Don't matter to me. If it works, it works. If you can build it yourself, even better, right? Like then you don't have to buy anything. Okay. Just looking at this. Saggy shelf. I mean, it really was. I don't know any other way to describe it. It like was saggy. The weight of all the paint was too much for the shelf. Just couldn't overcome it. All right, let's get the rest of these puttied. I always mix up putty and pin when I'm talking because they happen like one after the other or in between. Okay, one more hole. Oops, this one is a little bit dry already. So that's the only issue with this putty is you gotta like work quick because any of the light is gonna start curing stuff. And so I have it open on one side here and it's already kind of starting to coagulate because there's light coming from my left. So I always close the bottle up in between. All right, let's hold this up. And I think this leg is all we'll have time for left. I was hoping we'd be able to do one more piece, but given the fact that I'll probably find a couple more holes, we'll just spend the rest of our time fixing this piece up. And then next stream, we can just continue the puttying. And by then it will be a whole new year and a whole new us, maybe. Who knows? Whole new year of kits to build. Haven't even started or considered thinking about what to build next, if anything. This coming semester is going to be a little bit harder because I go to school 4 times a week and I have classes on Tuesday and Thursday and I think they get out a little bit later. And so we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm not sure if I'll switch my schedule up, but be aware that there may be changes in this new year when it comes to the stream schedule. I have not fully decided yet and we'll just kind of have to see. This schedule worked because this past fall semester all my classes were on Monday and Wednesday, so I basically had all of Tuesday and Thursday free, but that's not the case anymore. It just sucks. So we'll see. But for now, at least until the end of January, all of these streams are going to be the same time, Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, let's keep going. Yes, I hope you are plague free. That is definitely a big one that we should be looking forward to. I would be very concerned if you were not plague free that whole year. Let's see. This coming year, I'm hoping to finish a Benny Emma kit by Sunflower. He has a lot of bubble holes. Yeah, I would like a photo as well. I'd probably recognize it if I saw it, but I'm not 100% sure which kit you're talking about right now. Oh, yeah, sorry, Mr. Free Kit. No, you get it the whole year. Like, you're just sick forever. Let me click this link real quick. Oh, this is a cute one. So this is a cute one. Wow, I love the pose. Also bird related. I'm not familiar with Fate Grand Order too much, so my apologies, I don't recognize this character, but I really love the pose and I love all the little birds, and the color scheme is really cute. I always love that brown and gold. That's one of my very ones. Oh shit. Canon is in here saying that this is a very difficult kit because it requires a lot of prep. So, true or not, who knows? Could be like what I'm dealing with. Yeah, the base is a little bit nerve-wracking. You're gonna need a big old pin up that leg in order for her to stand. Like kits that stand on one leg, they're problematic sometimes, but that one seems okay if you can get the weight distributed properly. I feel like I've built a lot of kits that are on one leg or leaning weirdly lately. You just have to be careful beforehand, and really recommend like pinning it to the base beforehand so you know what you're dealing with, so you don't like finish painting your kit and then find out later nothing fits. So, oh no. Well, hopefully Med's kit isn't like that. Okay, it sounds like you guys are both in the same boat. Oof, man. Well, I hope that it all comes together. Oh no, you guys. That sucks. And bye, Quiliana. Thank you so much for joining my stream. I hope you have a happy new year. Take care. Yeah, all of the nice things, right? Thinking about prep, man. Yeah, there's, oh boy. Yeah, there's prep and then there's prep, like in caps. And it sounds like you guys are dealing with the caps version. Despite all of my complaining about, you know, this and the work that we have to do, it's still not the worst kit I've ever had to prep. I feel like you always have one that you are like, you get hazed and you think that you're prepared, and then it's still just so much work. It really, really, like, working on those makes you appreciate sculptors that take a lot of time in making sure the cast is nice and that parts fit well. I feel kind of like that, like what you guys are dealing with when it comes to Atelier Hero kits, because those are also really, really rough. And you don't typically see too many people posting their builds of their kits, or his kits, theirs, I don't know. And there's a reason for that, you know? So if you make it through and you post like you're able to build it, you got it. Like, you can do anything. So set your big challenging project. That will be the one, I guess. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah. It's always rough when certain like sculptors have a reputation like that. Like, yeah, Studio Sunflower, Atelier Hero, and you just, that's what you get, you know? It sucks that that's true, that it's consistent like that, but sometimes the love for this character or for the sculpt is worth it, you know? Okay, there's one more hole I'm noticing here. I'm gonna drill that out. I think this will be the last one that we fill in tonight. Let me just double check. There's also like a little bit of sanding I can do on here. Okay, yeah, I think that's the last one. TFO, you got their rice shower kit. I don't know what that is either, but I will assume that it will need a lot of work. I'm thinking after I finish this one, after I finish my commission, I'm gonna give myself a nice break and paint one that I know in my closet doesn't need a lot of work. It's always fun and good to like build the challenging ones and get it through, but sometimes you also want a nice easy cast. So that's the thing about this hobby, is you can pick whatever you feel like working on, right? You can work on the really tough ones, you can work on the ones that are super easy. It's always, you know, whatever you're feeling like doing at the time. All right, let's check a little bit more. It all kind of blurs together though, again, like when you're building throughout the year. Because I always try to say, oh, I'm gonna give myself like one hard one and get it done and out of my closet. But then a lot of them end up being hard ones, so. Alright, let's get this done. Some weird shadows being cast on this. I'm afraid that I'm sanding this leg down too much. So I'm trying to kind of buff the area around it and keep it all the same. Almost there. Starts to become kind of like translucent, this putty does, when you're almost through it, so. Alrighty, there we go. So let's round this out a little bit. This is just the 1200 grit, so I'm kind of polishing. It's even probably finer than that, considering how many bits are on it already. Also give you a chance to get some of that dirt off or the oils, or bring up more holes, which I don't see. Let me check real quick. Looks like there might be one more here. Yeah, there's one more here. Well, I did say I wanted to finish this, so let's do another one. Just easier for me to leave this on a note of it being completely finished, because I feel like bad karma to enter the new year when I have this piece not done. Like to have, like if I said I'm gonna do it, it's done. So we'll get this hole filled as well. Also with these kinds of like kits with a lot of bubbles, it's very unsurprising if you, like you're prepping it, you sand it, you get your bubble filled in, and then the act of sanding, you bring up more bubbles that appear in the resin because you've sanded far enough that now they've popped. Like that's pretty common. So I'm expecting that at some capacity to happen as well with this kit. All right, give this about 15 more seconds and then we should be good to sand it. On a good note though, I'm holding this up to the light and I'm not really seeing too many more big holes. Looks like there could be some, yeah, it looks like there's some damage along here, but that the Bondo will fill in, so we still have that as well. Okay, let's finish this one up. grit is, but I'm gonna sand it real quick. Just kind of speed this up just a tiny bit. There we go. Okay. And wrap up. Always good to sand up, so get into higher grits as you go. And if you have to go back down to a lower grit, then after you're done with that, buff it at a higher grit again, etc. All right, so I think that's good for now. Looks like I've filled in about as much of the big holes as I can for now. And there's still some minor ones I see, but those will have to be dealt with when we Bondo. So anyway, that's a later project for the new year. So I guess that's at the stage where we're ready to wrap up, and I wish you guys all a really happy new year, and we'll have more streams next week in the new year. And hard to believe that 2021 went by. This was the first year that I started streaming. I think it was back in February I started streaming. So I really appreciated, you guys tuning in this whole year so far. And I hope there are many more streams to come, that we have a lot of fun together, and I'm able to show you guys techniques and chat with you all, because this has been really helpful for myself and for the whole community. Thank you, Mr. Freakite. Yep, I see. Yep, we are not out of year because you've been here the whole time. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Meds. Happy New Year to you guys. And next stream will be next Tuesday. So next year looks like the 4th. So hope to all see you on January 4th. And have a good night, everybody. Be safe. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.